Welcome to rSlash Am I the Butthole, where OP demands to receive his sister's inheritance money. Am I the butthole for not wanting to give my wealthier sister the lion's share of my inheritance? I'm a 31-year-old man. Yesterday, my parents sat down me, my two brothers who are 32 and 34, and my sister who's 41 to discuss their will. My parents informed us that they want to split it 5 ways. My sister gets 40%, while the 3 of us brothers each get 20%. Their reasoning is that my sister sacrificed her childhood for our family, so it's only fair that she gets compensated. During our childhood, my father's business partner screwed him over, so there was a period where we were broke and in debt. My parents had to work multiple jobs to keep us afloat, and my sister babysat us while our parents worked. All she had to do was feed us and keep an eye on us. We were pretty calm kids, so all we did was play games and do our homework. It probably wasn't thrilling, but not exactly a tremendous hardship. I complained to my parents along with my brothers that this is insane they want to give my sister 40% of the inheritance over something so minor, especially since she's financially the best off out of all of us. She doesn't have any kids and she has a dual income with her partner. My parents said that they're disappointed in us and said that we need to reflect on ourselves. My sister didn't say anything while my parents spoke. She texted us afterwards that she had zero intention of taking 40%, but we were all buttholes still. Am I the butthole for feeling like the split is unfair? Okay, let's be super clear, OP. This is not your money, it's your parents' money. It is 100% your parents' right to split up their money however they want to. If they want to give 100% to your sister, they can do that. If they want to give 0% to your sister, they can do that. So you telling your parents how they can and can't spend their hard-earned money is super entitled, OP. Also, what you're effectively saying is your failure to make as much money as your sister is your parents' problem to fix. Your sister making more money than you has absolutely nothing to do with this story. What does matter here is that your sister sacrificed her childhood to raise the 3 of you boys. The fact that your sister raised you while your parents were trying to dig your family out of that hole, if anything, should mean that you want to give her extra money, right? What your parents did to your sister is called parentification, and parentification is abuse. OP, I'm giving you 2 out of 5 buttholes for your entitlement. Am I the butthole for canceling vacation less than 24 hours in due to my kids' behavior? My husband and I have 3 kids, a 9-year-old boy, an 8-year-old boy, and a 3-year-old girl. The boys have been driving us crazy. They fight like cats and dogs. We've had countless talks with them about respecting each other to no avail. I understand sibling rivalry, but it's gotten to the point that it's disruptive to us all, every day. I already told my husband last week that I wasn't sure if the vacation was a good idea. My husband shut me down pretty much immediately, and things went ahead as planned. First of all, the 3.5-hour car ride was predictably hell. The boys fought and riled each other up the whole time. My husband and I kept trying to reassure each other that things would be better once we got there, and they would be too excited to cause trouble. We were wrong. They had so many reminders of what not to do once we got to the rental house, so they do everything wrong from the get-go. Shoes on the white furniture? Check. Running in the house? Check. I turned my back for 2 seconds, and the 8-year-old threw a box of chalk in the pool to keep his brother from getting it. We went out to lunch, and they were out of control in the restaurant. The oldest ran away from us in a strange place because he didn't get his way. We finally go to the beach, and frankly, they were being brats, refusing sunscreen, fighting over toys, pushing their luck repeatedly, going farther and farther out in the water than we told them to, cursing. By the time we got back to the house, it was around dinner time, and I was fed up. The boys were totally ruining it for everybody. Nothing had worked, and I told my husband that we had to go home for the reasons mentioned above. Mainly that they had to see real consequences. My husband insisted that it would get better. I put my foot down and told my husband that I didn't even want to be here anymore, and that either I was going or we all were. He got super pissed and told me that it was ridiculous and unfair to our daughter. I actually agreed with him, but I saw no other choice at that point. Of course, when I told the kids the news, they immediately burst into tears and begged to stay, promising they'd behave. My mother, who came with us, was also near tears. She thinks that her precious grandbabies do no wrong. She argued with me too, begging me to just let it go, but I refused to budge. So we left, less than 24 hours into a 4-day vacation. Half the ride home was spent with them sobbing and my husband pretty much giving me the silent treatment the whole way. My mother decided to stay behind a little longer, but then started randomly texting me about 30 minutes in, asking if I was serious. She knew that I was. And she told me the whole reason she came was to spend time with the kids, so now I'd ruined it for everybody, and they're only little ones. Here we are the following evening, and pretty much no one likes me right now except my 3-year-old. Are they right about this? Am I the butthole? Yeah, OP, you are the butthole, but not for the reason that you think that you are. You're not the butthole because you canceled the vacation. If anything, that makes you less of a butthole, but you are a butthole for not being a good parent. Fundamentally, if you have unruly, misbehaving kids, is it the kid's fault? No, it's the parent's fault. So it's not actually clear who between OP and OP's husband and OP's mother does all the spoiling of these kids that allows them to get away with everything, but someone's definitely responsible here. My guess is it's some combination of all three. Obviously, OP's mother is too forgiving of the kids. Also, OP's husband is undermining OP's authority and taking things out on her when she doesn't deserve it. But my guess is that OP is contributing to their spoiled brats too, because typically even just having one strict parent is enough to get kids under control, so I think no one's being strict here. So I'm giving the kids 1 out of 5 buttholes for being brats. I'm giving OP's mom and OP's husband both 3.5 out of 5 buttholes for being spoilers, and I think I'm giving OP 2.5 out of 5 buttholes for being a spoiler as well, but less of a spoiler because she's trying to enforce some boundaries. I'm predicting that some people in the comments are probably going to say I'm too harsh on OP because OP is the only one actually enforcing rules and boundaries here. But let's be honest, guys. Clearly, the boys in this family aren't facing any consequences from any adult, OP included. So OP definitely does deserve a butthole score here. Am I the butthole for paying for a lounge at an airport during a long layover? I'm traveling with 5 friends right now, and we're traveling cheap. However, we had one long layover in an airport with a great VIP lounge. The thing about these lounges is that they have free food, free liquor, comfortable chairs, and shower facilities. I told my friends what I was going to do, and they all said they didn't want to waste money. So I went to the lounge by myself. I had some snacks, a few drinks, a quick nap, and a long hot shower. Then I caught up with my friends at the gate. My phone was fully charged, I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and a little drunk. When we started talking, they were complaining about the cost of everything at the airport. They asked me why I looked so pleased with myself. I told them about my stay in the lounge. 2 of them got visibly angry. They said that I was a butthole for not telling them everything they had at the lounge. They had actually spent more money on food and drinks than I had. Plus, I got to nap in a comfy chair and have a shower. I said that the lounges aren't a secret and that the internet exists. They could have looked up the same information that I did. Okay, so when they think that you're making a bad decision by wasting money, no one tries to stop you or educate you. But when they're making a bad decision by not spending their money correctly, suddenly it's your responsibility to stop them and educate them? The hypocrisy in this post. OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving them 1.5 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for telling my stepfather that I might throw my graduation party in his face forever? When I graduated, my family threw a big graduation party for me. My parents are separated, and I said that I want my entire family to be there. If anyone wanted separate celebrations, we could just not celebrate, because it was my big day, and I am sick of that. Everyone agreed and promised to be nice to each other. At the party, things were going really well, at first. Everyone was having fun. Then, my stepfather started giving my stepmother a bunch of unsolicited advice about her daughter and her daughter's autism. My stepsister was also right there and could hear what he was saying. My dad told my stepfather to walk away, but my stepfather kept insisting that he knew what he was talking about because he's a teacher. It eventually devolved into a screaming match where my stepmother called him a worthless piece of garbage and he called her a psychotic grunt. The party was ruined. I got my grandparents to kick my stepfather out, but the mood was ruined. My dad's side of the family quickly found excuses to leave, so I pulled the plug on the party. Each time my stepfather has tried to talk to me since then, I've said, "What's up, guy who ruined my graduation party?" which really upsets him. He said that it's not fair to blame him because my stepmother acted just as poorly. I said that it is fair, and I absolutely blame him. He asked how long I would blame him for and keep throwing the party in his face. I said maybe forever. He said that I was too old to be acting like such a little butthole. My mom asked me to be the bigger person and let sleeping dogs lie, but I'm not ready to do that. These dogs are very much awake and pissed off, so am I the butthole? Man, stories like this piss me off. Just the hypocrisy. Well, how come you have to be the bigger person when your stepfather, a grown adult, isn't expected to be the bigger person? Your stepfather, who's older than you are, said that you're too old to be acting like a butthole? But what about him? Is he not too old to be a butthole? Opie, I think I'm getting a sense for your family dynamic and why your parents are split up. My guess is that your mother is a bad person and she got remarried to an equally bad person. We could call out the stepmother for yelling that the stepfather is a worthless piece of garbage, but if some guy comes up to her and starts criticizing her autistic daughter in earshot of the autistic daughter's range, then I think yelling and calling him a worthless piece of garbage is completely justified. OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your stepfather and your mother 2.5 out of 5 buttholes. I'm also inclined to give your stepmother 0 out of 5 buttholes because it sounds like she was just sticking up for her daughter. Am I the butthole for telling my mom that she can't talk to my kid about her miscarriage and take him to the grave? I'm a 28-year-old woman and I have a son who's 5. I was adopted and grew up the consolation prize for the miscarriage that my mom, who's currently 68, had at 20 weeks. We had to go to this fetus's grave every year. One of my earliest memories was her forcing me to give my favorite stuffed rabbit to the grave. Yo, what the I grew up with my mom venting to me about how hard the miscarriage was. And I honestly think that it was super inappropriate, and it made me feel like a second option to what she actually wanted. I obviously was never good enough. I recently found out that my mom took my son to the fetus's grave and told him about it. I told her that this is an off-limits topic and he has no business hearing about her miscarriage at 5 years old. Now some people in my life are saying that I'm a butthole for telling my mom that she couldn't tell my son about his dead aunt. But I think that I'm justified in not wanting him to have to hear about it too. It was literally 30 years ago. Am I the butthole? Okay, there's a word for this. It's trauma dumping. Your mom trauma dumped on you, and now she's trauma dumping on your 5-year-old kid. Trauma dumping is a form of abuse, so OP, are you the butthole for telling your mom to stop abusing your son? Of course not. OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your mom 2.5 out of 5 buttholes. While she's certainly entitled to grieve, she's not entitled to force that grief onto literal children. That was rSlash Am I the Butthole, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.